Hello, everybody out there. Before we start this episode of RMP Radio, I just wanted to preface by saying that we had a little technical issues towards the beginning of the conversation here with Kipp Rascal. It was just a minor little thing. Did the best I could do to splice the interview all back together. I think we'll still get a good listen, and hope you guys all enjoy. So on with the show of Rocky Mountain Pro Radio.
Yeah, it's Cash. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go. Yeah, it's Cash.
All right, welcome back to RMP Radio. I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and on this edition of RMP Radio, I have joining me K-I-P-P, Kipp Rascal. Kipp, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Fourth Row. Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing damn fine myself. So, hey, like we do on RMP Radio, we kind of break or blur the fourth wall a little bit, get to know a little bit about the person behind the wrestler. Currently, let's first of all give a little, if people are maybe breaking the fourth wall, they're kind of following a little bit on social media and etc. You're currently on the injured list. How's your recovery going so far?
It's going all right. It's actually going pretty well. So I'm only 21, so it's one of those cases where like I still got pretty good metabolism and like I'm a healthy dude. So if I get injured, even if something as serious as my collarbone, like it literally broke in half, and the bone was sticking out and all that jazz. It was a pretty gnarly scene. But I'm healing pretty good, and I'm healing pretty all right at a pretty exceptional rate. So it's going well. It's going pretty good.
All right. And right now, it's currently, as this time you're recording, you're about 1 week out of surgery. Is that correct? 1 week and a few days?
Yeah. 1 week and a couple days.
Okay. All right. And what's your doctor saying about prognosis time, about healing and getting back in the ring and all that kind of good stuff like that? What are they telling you?
They didn't really tell me honestly anything. It was really going for the hospital and all the doctor stuff was very stressful. And I didn't get a lot of, how it is. I didn't get a lot of like good understandings out of everything. But I think the basic idea is that I should be coming back within 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And is that included a little physical therapy and all that kind of stuff like that?
They want me to do physical therapy, which I'm fine with. I'm not going to go for their program to do physical therapy though. I got my own program for doing physical therapy because this is my first time on the injured list, but so I know how to like kind of go about doing that whole thing, So I think once I kind of get the ball rolling with that, definitely 4 to 6 months, 6 months at maximum, I should be back.
Okay, cool. All right. And so from that time, are you still going to be able to at least get some promo work and stuff in with RMP and stuff? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tune in for Kipp Stock 2019. I don't know when this thing's airing out.
It's gonna air out. It's gonna air before that. So yeah.
Okay.
Plug that.
Kipp Stock 2019, baby. Happening. Rocky Mountain Pro Charge. It's gonna be the biggest, baddest event to ever happen in Golden, Colorado, at Jefferson County Fairgrounds. It's gonna be one hell of a ride, and there's plenty more to come.
Oh, well, there you go, people. Definitely make sure you tune in. If you're not in the area, tune in to Charged via Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Fight TV, etc. So, yeah, definitely. I would concur with that. So a little bit behind the scenes, we were talking. You grew up in the theater realm, doing performances in high school and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. What kind of fascinated you with theater?
Nothing, honestly, nothing really like fascinated with me with theater, I guess. It was just something that I knew that I could give a try, and it turns out that I was actually halfway decent at it. It was something I kind of just went on a hunch and was like, why not, you know? I auditioned my freshman year for a play called And Then There Are None, which is also known as 10 Little Indians, but And Then There Are None is the more updated PC version of that name.
Right.
And so I auditioned for it, and I was a freshman, and I got in and I got casted for a lead role in my freshman year, which was insane. Like it blew my mind, and I was the only freshman among other juniors and seniors to be part of that play. So I did that, and just going off of that, I just kept the ball rolling. I did every play going out through high school, and so I think I did a total of 12 plays in high school, including like competition pieces and all of that. So it was just one of the things that like I did off of a hunch because I was a bigger kid and I didn't like doing sports. I like playing video games in my grandma's basement, and yeah, theater just kind of helped me open my eyes to a whole nother world. It was great.
Okay, now I'm gonna shoot on you for a minute. You said that you weren't any good. Now, sitting on this side of the ropes with your promos in Rocky Mountain Pro, it's all right. Okay, so folks, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. So, Kipp, I was I was telling you, I was gonna shoot on you for a second. You just were mentioning that you felt like you were no good in the theater realm, but if anybody's been watching Rocky Mountain Pro, seeing your promos there in the ring and outside the ring and etc., I don't know, I think they're fantastic, but are we just seeing a little bit of a product of years of experience?
I appreciate that, first of all, because every time I hear myself do a promo, it just sounds like mouth diarrhea. I kind of just go off sometimes. But I guess, yeah, I think it's been just like 4 to 5 years of just doing constant like improv shows and competitions within theater in high school. And like, I don't consider myself like a professional actor or anything. Like the only credit I have towards that is I'm a member of ITS, which is the International Thespian Society. Like I got a little doohickey card and all that with my name and stuff. But that's about it. I guess I don't know. I'm good at speaking confidently, and I'm good at getting the audience into what I want to say. Not that what I always say is always the best, but it's I guess I'm good. I guess I'm pretty all right. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
All right. So in the theater realm, what have some been your favorite plays or parts that you performed in?
I always have a heart, and it's weird because I really hate Shakespeare. Shakespeare is it's boring. It really is. I really don't like Shakespeare, but that's reading Shakespeare. Performing Shakespeare is a whole nother beast, and is honestly one of the funnest things I've ever gotten to do, which is I got to do Midsummer's my junior year. And it was right after doing The Crucible as well, and I had lead parts in both. I was John Proctor in Crucible, which is a very depressing play, very, very sad. And me as an actor, I get really into my character. So when I got finished doing that theater production, I was super like depressed and sad, and just like, and you know, and that is in accordance with also just a bunch of high school drama that was going on at the time. But after that fall play, we did the spring play, which was Midsummer's, and that gave me a whole new love for theater and performance and just being an entertainer. Because originally I wasn't even going to audition for that play. I was done with theater. I was done performing. That's how bad The Crucible was. But then I off a hunch and off of a whim, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do Midsummer's, and it was one of the best decisions I ever did. I guess some of the other ones were I was Ralph in A Christmas Story, not Ralphie. You know, I was Ralph, the narrator, which meant I had to be on stage the whole time. I learned about 181 lines, which if anyone's ever done theater, that's a pretty good amount of lines. It's a good amount. And since I was the narrator, I had to be on stage at all times. I wasn't doing one of the whole being backstage gimmicks with a mic, doing a voiceover narrator type stuff, I was on stage saying the lines as stuff was happening. So that was one of the hardest challenges I've ever had to do as an actor, and made me a better performer by far. And I guess the last play I did was also one of my favorites, was the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is just a ridiculous show, because especially the character I played, I don't remember his name, but it was pretty much a kid. It was pretty much a guy. He's the guy who says the word to the kid, and the kid has to spell it. And the kid's like, "Can I have a definition? Can you please use that in a sentence? Can you all that jazz?"
Yeah.
And I fed him his stuff. And at one point during the play, I go out and I try to physically assault a child, which is always, in the context of a comedy, funny. And and that was just a really fun character to play, because he was just such an aggro, like, beat up kind of guy. And at one point, like I said, he tries going after a child and gets stopped by security. And I think that's my favorite play that I've done is because there's a fight scene that I got to choreograph, and me being a wrestling fan, I already knew what to do. I was already all over that. I had someone slam my head against a table and throw me in the back, and I got stomped on. I had to teach them how to do all the stuff from, like, what I saw in wrestling, which I had no idea what I was doing, but I saw it on TV, so I had an idea, but it was really fun to choreograph that whole fight scene in there.
Oh, cool. All right, a couple things I wanted to touch on. You mentioned that you have to it's reading Shakespeare is different than performing it. You say is that what I kind of looked at as, you have to kind of understand what Bill William was trying to say, at that time. What was he trying to convey? What was the message of the words? Is that what you were kind of saying there?
To an extent, yeah. I'm not that serious of an actor where, like, I try going in depth with all the words and, like, try to get a meaning out of all that. That's some, like, next level stuff. Yeah. I'm more for finding just the general emotion of it and trying to convey that to the audience, because in my opinion, I think that's what audience understand the most is emotion, and that's something that we all can relate to. Like, there's some parts in the play where I had no idea. I had an idea, but I didn't have, like, I had a gist of what my character was saying. I played Demetrius, by the way. And I had, like, a gist of what I was saying, but it wasn't like, it was kind of hard to convey that. But I knew the emotion, and I knew if I used a different tone in my voice and I gave off the physical facial looks that I needed to, that the audience would understand what I was going for.
Right.
So that's what I meant, like performing Shakespeare, is that Shakespeare was so good at being able to convey emotions and convey what the character is feeling. And so that's what makes performing Shakespeare so much better than actually reading Shakespeare, because if you just read Shakespeare, especially if it's just like an English class with a bunch of kids who don't want to be there reading Shakespeare, it is horrible.
Yeah. Totally agree. All right. And then one other thing you had mentioned to me offline is that you are also, looking into doing some, continuing on with the acting, and maybe even, flexing your artistic muscles and doing some directing. Anything in the works that you got going on there, or maybe eyes on doing that?
No, there's nothing in works currently. When I first moved to Colorado, I started writing and doing music, and that was just from experiences, like a little bit of experiences that I had back in Arizona. Nothing big, but I just, I started writing more music and writing more poetry. And while that was pre-wrestling, so that was kind of my outlet for me to artistically express myself before I actually got in the ring and started doing it that way. That's one avenue I want to go down. In terms of directing, I've had a couple directing things back in high school. I did a short film, which unfortunately never saw the light of day because the USB drive that my editor had just vanished in the thin air. Oh. So yeah, it was tragic. I was super sad. Like we spent 3 weeks on that, and it was gone. Just poof, And so yeah, that was tragic. The one piece of work though that I do, and I'm really proud of it, even though you go back on it and it's super cringe, and I don't mind like sharing it with people. I think honestly it's funny. It's on YouTube, if you want to ever look at it, it's pro wrestling theater. And it was my senior directed one act that I got to help produce, direct, write, and act in all at the same time. And it's about a half hour of theater and the world of wrestling coming into one. And it's on, like I said, it's on YouTube, all caps, pro wrestling theater. And that is one of my best works that I've done. And it was really cool at the time because that was at the peak of me like being like, yeah, I want to be a wrestler. After high school, I'm so going to be a wrestler. And the peak of me getting finished with theater. And so it was a story of a guy in like the 80s, and he's competing for the championship against Bobby Jack, which is like pre Kipp Rascal. That's like Kipp Rascal before he was Kipp Rascal. And which I played, and and then they have a whole storyline, wrestling-esque shenanigans ensue, and betrayal, heartbreak, all that jazz, everything you love in pro wrestling that is also works in theater is in that play. Just not that well done because it's by a bunch of senior students, and only one of them knew about wrestling. Everybody else had to teach. I had to teach them how to wrestle, which I didn't know how to wrestle, so I looked up YouTube videos of how to wrestle. It looks like the worst indie show you've ever seen, but in that same light, that's what makes it so good.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you know this, but there's a couple other wrestlers in the Colorado area that also are thespians on the side. Have you bumped into them in any of those circles?
There's one cat that I know, Sweet Johnny Zudo. He's I don't know how prominent he's on the Colorado wrestling scene, but he trains at Rocky Mountain Pro sometimes, and he does improv in Colorado, and I think that's awesome. I've been wanting to go to one of his improv shows or classes, and because it's been so long since I've done actual improv that I feel like I'd be rusty. But again, I do performances for Rocky Mountain Pro, so I don't think I would do too terribly, but doing wrestling improv and doing actual improv is two different beasts.
Right.
Sweet Johnny Zudo. I know Cody Devine. He did acting back in California. Yeah. He's done a couple acting things, which is cool.
He was in a movie, I believe, too.
Yeah, he did a whole movie thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to that. I know he mentioned to me a couple of times, but I don't really remember the full story about it, but I know he had a movie thing.
I think it was done. I think it's called, if I remember correctly, I think it's called Boxcar. So Cody, if you're listening to this, if I get that right, give me a thumbs up or something. So.
Yeah, please do. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. So, and then also you had mentioned that you do a little bit of music here and there. What do you kind of tinker with there?
I've been trying to learn piano for the past 3 years, and it's been an on again, off again kind of thing, because I love piano. I love listening to piano. I love watching people play the piano. I think it's just a beautiful instrument. At the same time, when I try playing piano, it's one of the most frustrating things in the world, and I want to hit somebody over the head with a keyboard. That's why I do pro wrestling. And it's just been one of those love-hate relationships. One day I'll be able to learn how to play piano, but so far all I know is how to do a little bit of dun na 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 dun 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 dun. I don't even know. I think that's Beethoven or something. That is kind of that's what I do for musician-wise. I've also done drums before. Still not very good at it. I'd say my best range is vocal. I like being a vocalist. I love either rapping or singing or doing slam poetry type-esque stuff. I think that's where my strong suit is. And I think that kind of comes out when I do performances, because I do have a good way of changing the tone of my voice and being able to just be loud and convey an emotion. And in music it's the same thing, except for you have to sing it with a tune and a tone and all that jazz. So I consider myself a vocalist more than anything, but I would still love to do actual musical instruments. I did play trumpet in middle school, and I actually didn't do too bad. I actually went out on the streets of Prescott in Arizona and made $100 playing street gigs.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was 12.
Oh, geez. What were you
I
hitting
don't think
up?
that's because I was. I don't think that's because I was a good trumpet player, though. I think I was just kind of a cute fat kid.
Oh,
Like, aw, look at this guy trying. Here's
no.
$1.
What what suckers were you getting? Were you getting out of a game or something, or just busy thoroughfare or what?
It was just so if you go to Arizona and you go to Prescott, there's Downtown Square, which is always just, if you go in there on a weekend night, it's always just crazy stuff's always going on. There's the famous bar Whiskey Row, which is just a bunch of famous bars going down Prescott Square. So there's always like tourism going on there. So I think it was just and I wasn't the only street performer though.
Okay.
Like there's other street performers there. I think I was just the cutest because I was a little chubby 11-year-old kid.
Oh, that's funny. That's great. I love it. All right. Okay. Well, Kipp, before I let you go here, people wanted to like hit up with you on social media. You have any merch to plug and all that kind of good stuff like that?
Yeah. On Facebook, you can follow me on Kipp Rascal. On Twitter, you can follow me at Kipp Rascal, even though I'm not big on the Twitters so much. I'm still learning how to Twitter, the tweet, all that. Me and the bird don't get along all that great. Instagram, VIDTRYST, Vidtrist. That's actually probably where I'm most prominent on in terms of social media. And I guess I'll throw it out there. If you want to add me on Snapchat, Tristan, TRYSTINLA, is where you can follow me on Snapchat. Just don't be a weirdo about it.
But it is Snapchat after all.
It is Snapchat, so I expect some weirdos, but if you cool, we cool. That's the bottom line.
All right. And do you have any merch or what?
Yeah. I only got one merch, unfortunately, and it's kind of outdated at this point. I want to get new T-shirts when I return from injury. But you can get my T-shirt as well as other Rocky Mountain Pro Superstar T-shirts at Amazon.com. Either type in keyword Kipp Rascal or Rocky Mountain Pro, and you'll get a bunch of cool designs as well as mine, which is inspired by the infamous Porky the Pig cartoon Pop-Out that everyone knows and loves.
Yep, exactly. I love it too. All right, cool. All right, well, Kipp, I appreciate you coming on to this episode of Rocky Mountain Pro, and listeners, keep an eye on the Rocky Mountain Pro Charged and other events, and you'll see Kipp all the time there, and
all the time. I ain't going nowhere. Just because I got a broken clavicle,
don't
mean I don't got a broken mouth. I can still talk my way into a ring, if you know what I mean.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, once again, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Once again, a big thank you to Arizona's favorite son, KIPP, Kipp Rascal, for coming on to this episode of RMP Radio and letting all the listeners get to know a little bit more about the person behind the facade of Kipp Rascal. Before we go, let's pay some bills like we used to do and say back in the day. If you want to support your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, you can, of course, buy pictures and shirts from them in person at any of the shows, or if you head up to Amazon and search for Rocky Mountain Pro, or, in this case, Kipp Rascal, and you will find the merchandise there, or you can just go up to rmpwrestling.com, click on the merch link, and you will find them as well. Upcoming events for this week, we have Charged Thursday nights, and every Thursday night for the most part, from the Jefferson County Fairground in the Quarry in historic, beautiful Golden, Colorado. You can get your tickets in person on site. Of course, pay a little bit more if you buy them the day of, but if you want to get them a day before and save yourself a little bit of cash, go up to rmpwrestling.com and click on the events link, and you will find the list of upcoming events from there. Also this week on Friday, we have Respect Women's Wrestling, and that is on the 20th at 8 p.m. from Herman's Hideaway. You can get tickets there from rmpwrestling.com. You can purchase link from the link there as well. $15 pre-sale, $18 the day of. Got all kinds of great women from the local area and visiting from out of town as well. Then in the horizon, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Great American Beer Festival is happening in Denver from October 3rd through the 5th, and Rocky Mountain Pro Live is going to have an event at the Rack House Pub on October 3rd at 9 p.m. So keep that in the horizon as well. Should be a good time. I personally do not have any specific details of what could be happening yet, but let's just say the Rack House Pub events are not to be missed, because there's always going to be something special happening there. So if you guys want to watch us, of course, you can attend any of the shows if you are in the local area or just happen to be visiting the Denver, Colorado metropolitan area. If you want to, watch us online, you can, of course, with Fight TV. You can get us on twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. You can watch the shows on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro, on our Facebook page at Rocky Mountain Pro, and impactplus.tv as well. You want to follow us on social media. Everything stems from rmpwrestling.com, and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They all are of the name The Rocky MTN Pro. So that's The Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. So, hey, want to thank you all for listening to RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.